Okay, hi guys. We are going to be starting today's lesson with creating a Wix website. So the website is going to be used to demonstrate or to present your final ISU work. Okay, and so the process is pretty straightforward. You're going to be creating a site using a template. I'm going to demonstrate using a specific template. You can use whichever one you'd like, but I recommend using the one that I'm going to show you here. This is going to happen in two steps. The first part is going to be me showing you how to set up your site, and then the second video will be the one where I show you what you're going to be putting into the site. Okay, so this is just setup. So first, you're going to log into Wix, okay, wix.com, and you can't use the Google single sign-on. You'll have to actually sign in using your actual email. Okay, so you have to put in your email account. All right, so I'm going to go to create a new site. When this happens, it's going to run through a bunch of questions. You can go through this if you want to, but we're gonna skip this because I know exactly what I want to do, and you're probably going to again do a similar thing to what I'm doing here. Okay, so you can skip this. We're going to skip ahead a couple of these. We'll skip that. We'll skip that because we can edit all of this afterwards. Okay, when we get to this point, here's where we want to be. We're going to go to begin with a template. Okay, and you'll have a bunch of options, okay, that show up. And the way that Wix works is you have templates that you can choose. Okay, and we're going to be using one called landscape photographer. Try that again. Okay, so this is it right here. Okay, it looks like this. So if you click on view, you can preview it. And if you want, as I say, you want to choose your own portfolio site, you can pick your own template by looking through and seeing how they look. Okay, and if I want to go back, I'm going to close this here, take it back to this guy here, and there's a number of them. Okay, I recommend using something specific to photography. There are lots of different templates, but the key at the end of this, what I think the key is that this one's going to give you the ability to do all the content that you need for the ISU that you're going to be submitting. So again, I highly recommend just using this one, okay? Unless you're really comfortable with Wix or website design and development. Yeah. All right, so to get started, I'm going to click on edit. This is going to now go through the process of kind of building the Wix website. And I'm just going to go through a couple of things to do with the way Wix works. There are a couple of things that are kind of funky. So first of all, it's going to open up kind of a bunch of windows, okay, based on Wix. So I'm going to close this one because this is my website. This is a course website. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to close Flickr. I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3 Wix pages open right now. Okay, this is the one where I logged in. Okay, and this is actually where I have access to kind of all the sites that I've made. You will only have one, okay, because you haven't created any other Wix websites, but I have. So that's kind of a dashboard for that. Then within this is where I was working on selecting my templates. Okay, I don't need that anymore, so I'm going to close that. And once this is done doing what it's doing here, okay, it's going to show me sort of close this. Okay, it's going to show me the page in sort of a default form. And so with that, what I can do is I can actually make edits to this. All right, I'm gonna go back over here. If you need to, when you log in next time, let me close this. I'm gonna save it. It's gonna ask me what I want to call it. I'm gonna call it destination, save and continue. Okay, it's gonna save it, and I'm gonna hit done. I'm actually gonna close this, okay? And let's say I come back to Wix again, okay, and then I go and I refresh this page. Okay, and so here it is, Destination Toronto. Okay, this is what you're going to see. Okay, when I click on this, it's going to take me to what's called a dashboard. Okay, now there's a whole bunch of like kind of things you can edit in here. We actually want to go into the editor. Okay, so we're going to skip all this. We don't need any of this for now. We're going to skip right over here to where it says Design Site. That's our dashboard. This is our editor. And then if I want to preview the site, now I haven't published the site. So right now, this is just an editor. All this is like having kind of saved a draft email, right? It's not been sent yet, okay? And what I need to do before I can view this on the internet is I need to publish it, okay? So over here, I'm going to click publish, okay? And it's going to wrap it all up and send it off onto the internet, okay? If I click on view site, it's going to open up another browser. All right, and so it gives me this, okay, which is it's called the URL, current URL. And there's that name we gave, Destination Toronto. Okay, and this is just the generic content that comes with the site. So, you know, there's a home and there's a portfolio with a bunch of sub-navigation and a bio. If I click on home, okay, this is the home page here. On the home page, there are categories, which we're going to be using, okay, like that. If I go back to home, okay, and I click on, let's say, here, High Sierra. Okay, this takes me to another page, and you'll notice that these are the same: desert, High Sierra, beach, fortress, wilderness. These are just linking within this website, which is loading. Give it a second here. Okay, these categories here are just images, okay, that are linking into this portfolio piece here. Okay, so that's how that works. And then the bio page is like just a bit of a generic bio. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to customize this, but I just want to again draw your attention that this is now the actual website. So when I'm sharing my website, this is when I'm going to go to home. I'm actually going to share this link. Okay, this is the link to my website. And so students on occasion forget and they share this link, which is starts here with editor, editor.wix.com/blah, blah, 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 blah. This is not valid. This won't work. Okay. If you share this link with me, it'll open up my editor. Okay. And that's no good. So what you want to make sure you're doing is remember you're sharing when you're submitting your work and when you're sharing your website with someone, you want to show them your work, you're putting it in a resume or whatever you're doing with it. Yeah, this is the one you want to send. This the published version. Okay, I'm gonna close that for now because we don't need it. Let's take a look at what we're looking at here. Now, when you started off, it may have done this. It may have kind of put you down to 50%. I don't know why it does that. Anyways, we're gonna jump back up to 100 and we're gonna edit this. So again, this is now showing me the home page. Okay, and so what you can see here is this is the editor for, it kind of works like a Word editor or a Google Docs editor, kind of in a similar way. And we're gonna go through and just get a sense of how this thing works. Okay, once you've done this, you've actually already created your site. We now need to add some content. So first of all, let's just look at how we navigate this thing. So we've got this thing here called page, okay? And there's a couple ways to do it. If I click on this drop down here, it's going to show me home, portfolio, which was you saw over here. We got home, portfolio, bio. So we got home, portfolio, and bio, and then we've got these sub navigation guys here, okay, which showed up when I clicked on this link in the live site. We could also click here on page menu, okay, pages and menus, which is here, okay, and it'll open up a similar kind of situation, which actually gives me a little more control. Okay, it's the same thing: home, portfolio, those subnav, and bio. Okay, I'm gonna close this. The difference being here when I do this, this is just to navigate. So if I go to desert, it takes me to that page, to the editor for that page. Okay, and if I want to go back here to, let's say, bio, okay, it takes me to the bio editor. Okay. I'm going to go back over to home. Now, the reason that I prefer to use this pages and menus here is because this actually gives me some control. So right now I can do things like from this navigation here, I can actually pick these up and move them. I can change the order. I can do things like delete a page, duplicate a page. This gives me more control. It's kind of the manager for the sites and pages rather than just the navigator. Okay, so if I want to move around and make edits and, you know, turn off the visibility or the SEO information for a page, this is where I would do that sort of stuff. Okay. All right. So let's start off with how we make an edit. We'll start off by looking at the bio page because it's kind of the easiest. All right. This is pretty straightforward bio page. Okay. And if I click on any element, it's going to give me this kind of pop-up: edit text, create AI text. I click on an image, it's going to say change image, edit image. It gives me some settings and some design options. I can crop or add effects to it. Okay, I can make it linkable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, we're not going to be doing too much to this, but I would suggest, you know, you put a photo of you, or potentially, you know, if you don't want to put a photo of yourself, you can put something that is, you know, something that you like, so that this is a little customized. And then you're going to write a little blurb about yourself. Okay, but this is, you know, later on. We're not so concerned, and I'm probably going to delete all of this. We don't need this. We don't need this. We're not going to have any of that kind of stuff in here. Okay, so the bio will just be a quick, a little bit about you, but it works kind of the way you would expect it. So I'm going to go edit text, okay, and I'm going to type in my name. Oops, did I spell it right? Okay, and you know, you have all these settings. So depending on what you want to do, you know, if I want to make it bold or italic or whatever, okay, change the size, change the font. Actually, don't change the font. I suggest not changing too much about the design, just because the design's already been done by the template. Okay, so don't go changing too much, I would think, but you can. All right, so that's how that works to make quick edits. Let's go back to the navigator. Okay, we're gonna go back over to the home page, and let's take a look at how we're gonna do this for the ISU. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna change this Amanda Willman, okay, to destination Toronto. And we're going to change this here, landscape photographer, to photos by you. Okay, and then let's take a look at how we update these images. So we're going to start off with, I'm just going to click on this kind of what looks like a background. Okay, this section here. And what it says is I've now, you can sort of see there's a light purple outline here. Okay, saying that I've selected what is called a Wix Pro Gallery. And when I do that, when I click on it, it gives me this Manage Media and Settings. So we're going to go to Manage Media. And like I mentioned, this is the default images that kind of come with this. Okay. So we don't want these. We're going to delete these. Remove, 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 because we're going to put in our photos. Okay. And so obviously now I need to add some media because I got rid of everything. I want to add some images. Now you have the option to go and grab images from Wix or Shutterstock. That's not what we want because we have our own photos. We're going to go upload media. And the nice piece of this is I can go directly from my Flickr account. Okay, so I'm going to click on Flickr. Okay, and I'm going to connect my Flickr account. Okay, it says, hey, do you want to do this? Is that okay? You say, yes, I'll authorize it. And it connects directly to your Flickr account. So now I can go and pick photos from whatever album I want, depending on how organized your Flickr account is. If you've already created your album called Working Body of Work, or if you created your album called Destination Toronto Submissions, you can just go right into that folder. Okay. Now, as a non-student, I don't have that, so I'm just going to go and grab a picture. Okay, grab that and upload. I'm just going to grab a couple. So I got this one. I'm going to hold Command and select, I don't know, these 5 images, 6 images. Okay, I'm going to upload those. Okay, it's going to take a second. Okay, give that a sec to upload. And what's going to happen then is those are now going to be linked directly from your Flickr account into the website. So it's going to replace the media that we had on the template. Okay, well, I'm done with that. So if I click on the first one, and you can hold Command and add to your selection, or click the first one and then hold Shift and click the last one you want. Okay, it'll add all of them. Okay, and there it goes. Okay, once I'm done, I hit done. Give it a second to upload. Okay, so these are like, just 6 photos I selected. Now you don't need to put 6. You can do 2 or 3 or whatever. Maybe your best 5, whatever you want here. Say that your photo, say you want to do something like make this a little standout-ish. I might actually go like this, go edit text, and I'm going to put a background on it here, this highlight, and I'm going to put like a white background so that it stands out regardless of what's behind it. Okay, and the same thing here. Because sometimes if your image is like lighter or darker, there. And so now I don't have the problem of, let's publish this, of having a dark image and like losing that text. View the site. And what you can see is here where I've got that word home there, it's getting lost there, right? So I might do the same thing there. Okay, so this will be the kind of the landing page where you put up your photos. Then you're also going to go and put links to your sort of sections. So let's go and take a quick look at my website. Okay, let's scroll down to here. Okay, so you need to have photos that fall into these 5 categories. Okay, so you're going to create 5 categories. Let's just say these are the 5 right here. Okay, architecture, parks and nature, culture, food, and the arts. So what I'm going to do is on my editor, I'm going to put a photo here, a photo here, photo here, a photo here, and then I'll add a 5th one. Okay, of those 5 categories: architecture, parks, nature, culture, food, the arts. So let's go and add in architecture. And I go here. Oops. Here. Okay, and scroll down, and I'm going to edit this guy here by double clicking it and saying, what was it? Architecture. Okay, I can actually leave Seymour. And here I'm going to change this image, okay, to be my whatever architecture image. So that's one from U of T. I'll choose that. It's going to update that, and it will now link. I've got a link here. Okay, it's going to a page. It's going to a page called the desert. Okay, now that's fine for now. We're going to edit that in a second because we don't actually want it to be called the desert. We want it to be called architecture. So let's say done for now. We'll come back and change that in a minute. Let's go back to our section. So I'm going to go to our pages. Click on pages, and I'm going to go over this one that we call the desert. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rename it. Okay, we're going to call this architecture. Oops. Architecture. There we go. Got it. Okay, done. And if I click on this, it's going to take me to the page that was previously called the desert. So I'm going to update this. Okay, and maybe you want to put in a little blurb about, let's do some AI text. You're encouraged to use AI. I'm fine with that. I just expect it to be, read by you and made sure that what the AI wrote makes sense for what you've written. Okay, what's my business name? I don't have a business name, but I'll make destination Toronto. And what's the topic of this? This is kind of about the project, and I want it to say Toronto, and I want it to say architecture, and I want it to say buildings, and I want it to say history, and I want it to say beauty, and I want it to say search. I'm not sure I'm gonna get the right thing that I want with search. I'm gonna take that out. I want to say something about how you have to search for the beauty in the city, but whatever. Okay. This is, what's my business? What? Business type. Photography. Mind your business. Create text. All right. I'm not even gonna check. You're gonna check, right? And then you're gonna edit. I'm just gonna pick this one. I don't really care. All right. And you're going to go through and be like, does this work for the photography that I'm including? I don't know. You tell me. All right. I'm going to edit this now and go, I want to manage the media. Okay. I don't want these photos. These are generic. I'm going to get rid of them. Remove, remove. There's probably a way to get rid of all of them, but whatever. Remove, remove, remove. And lastly, remove. Okay. I'm going to add my media. It's going to be images. I'm going to upload some new ones. Clicker. And I don't know. I don't actually have any architecture photography. Let's just say I don't. Here, I'm just going to put in a bunch of pictures of ghosts. Give that a second. Okay, and I'm going to add to gallery this one, this one. I got them all. Okay, add to gallery. Okay, hit done. All right, and there is my now oddly about ghosts, but there is my album to do with architecture, and I'm now going to publish that. Publish, view site. Okay, and now from Destination Toronto, I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna click on this and it's gonna take me to my architecture page, which is this. Now, let's go back to the site. Okay, so you're gonna do that for each of these. Now you don't have to have 5, maybe you only have 1 architecture image and maybe you only have 2 parks and nature and maybe you have, 5 culture and 1 nightlife and I don't know, 10 street life. That's okay. I don't really care how you divvy it up. You just have to have 5 of these categories filled by some photos. Okay, you'll have some that don't have categories, and that's okay. We're going to build a page as well that has all 25 of your photos. Okay, but I just want to see the categories as well. All right, let's go back to the editor. Okay, I'm gonna close this up, close that up. All right, and go to the editor. Done. How do we add and change pages? Let's go down to our pages and menus. Okay. So you're going to name these, right? So whatever categories are, say you've got a category called culture and outdoor, I don't know, parks or street life, whatever. You're going to do that. If you need to duplicate one, you're going to go duplicate. And I'm just going to, you don't need to make it dynamic. You're going to duplicate page. Okay, and we'll call this one, I don't know, culture. Okay. All right. And that'll be your 5th category. All right. So we're going to have portfolio, which is this, which is just it's one of these. Okay. It's called a sub menu title. So notice that when I go to this site, if I go publish and I view the site, if I click on portfolio, it doesn't do anything. Okay. I'm clicking, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't take me anywhere. Okay. But if I click on these subtitles here, it will. Okay. All right. While I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to go back and edit this as well. I'll click on this thing, double click. Oops, not double click. I'm going to go, so while I'm clicking on this horizontal menu, I'm going to go to here to design, customize design. And I want to go to background fill, and I'm going to make, I think I just make it white and 100%. There. And now when I publish, on the site, there. So I just added that white in. I should probably, we don't need that to be so long. Like that. Okay. And that should look good now. Publish that over here, refresh. That's a bit better. Okay. There's probably a way to do this as well, but we'll come back to it. Close that. All right. So that's the basics for setting up one page. Let's go over here. I'm going to go to pages and menus. Okay. We're going to add in a page. So we saw how to edit the bio page. We're going to actually Okay, we're going to add a page. So from here, we saw how you can edit bio and we can edit each of these pages. We're going to create a new page. Okay, so we can add page here. And there are, as you can see, there's a bunch of different templated designs. Okay, we don't need any of those. We're just going to go with a plain blank page and we're going to add in what we need. So up the top here, it says blank page. Okay, and what it's going to do, give it a second to generate and it'll put in a page. We're going to call this submission 25. That'll be your submitted work. And I'm going to drag this down just between the portfolio and the bio. In fact, I might rename that so that it's uppercase, so that's the same as the rest. Okay. All right. Close that. So here's a blank page. Okay, it gives us the header and it gives us the footer. Okay, which we can edit as well. But we're going to add in some content. So first, we're going to click on this plus here, and we're going to add in some text. And we just want a heading. So I'm going to go with this side here, double click it, and call it submission 25. And I'm going to drag that up here. And then what I want to do is I put a gallery in. So this is going to be showing our 25 photos, right? So I'm going to go here to add elements. I'm going to go down to gallery. There's a number of options here. Okay, we're just going to go with grid galleries. Okay, and because I don't want any text under it, I just want my images, my 25 images. I'm going to click on this guy. It's going to drop it in. Now, I should mention that what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that it fits the size of the screen. These dashed lines here, this one and this one, are sort of the maximum size that you should go before you go outside some potential. If I go like this, it's going to give me an error. Okay, you drag it outside the grid lines, some visitors won't be able to see that. So I'm going to drag it back in. You can go slightly outside, okay, but not too far, about like that. Okay, and so what we're going to see here is it's going to show me the photos that are being held in this gallery. Now I'm going to scroll down a little bit and you'll see that this is too large for the area. I'm just going to click on this guy and there's like a little drag handle here. I'm going to drag this down. It's going to give me a bit more room. This is a little tedious because you've got to kind of do it in sections. So because I'm going to be doing 25 photos, right? Right now it's a 3x3 gallery. I'm going to click on layout here. Okay, and I'm going to say that I want it, because I'm using 25, I want 5 by 5. Spacing can be 10, that's fine. Hit enter. And I'm going to drag that just to here. I don't want to go too far out of these dashed lines. I want 5 columns by 5, and I'm going to drag this down this way to give myself some space. Okay, and was that? And now I'm going to add my content. So I'm going to go change images. Right now there are only 9 images. Okay, so I'm going to add in a number of images. So you're going to add in from your album, okay, from Flickr, your 25 photos. I don't have 25 here, but I'm going to add those. That gets me to 17. And what you'll see is it updates them. Okay, and when you publish this, if I go to my submission page, okay, there are my 25 photos. And when I click on each one, it's going to take me to the photo. So I can view each photo in higher detail. Okay, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, so that's how this works. Now, I'm going to close these guys. We're done with this. Back to that. We'll close this for now. Okay, so that is that's your submission page. You're also going to have a page which similarly, you can actually duplicate this. Okay, and we're going to call this one duplicate page. We're going to call this one body of work. Okay, and that's going to be 100. And you're going to do a similar thing where you're going to have 100 photos. And of course, to do that, you'll need to make, again, some space. You have to drag this down. Okay, and you can probably, because you don't need to have as much detail on your 100, you can actually change the layout here to be 10 by 10, which will make them smaller. Okay, and I'm not sure that I like that height so much there. I think once you add in more photos, it'll look a little better. I want those probably to be square so that I can see them at a glance. But and then of course rename this to be body. Okay, and then when I'm done with that, gonna fix this guy here. I don't need that to be so that. Okay, and then I'm going to publish. Right, done. Let's go back over to our home page. And from here, I'm now going to add in any customization that I want. So here we had, the categories: architecture, culture, parks and nature, whatever. I'm going to select the images that I want, and I'm going to have them link to where I want them to go. So if this is going to be going to, say I called this nature and parks. Okay, and I click on this. Okay, the way that this works is by clicking on the link button here. Okay, well, actually, let's change the image. I'm going to change the image and say I want it to be whatever. This guy. Okay, street life. Okay, so say this was street life. Okay, and then I want it to go to a category page. So I'm going to go. I think I'm going to choose the category from this list here, okay, which I haven't made yet. I only have the culture one, but I'll pick culture for now. Okay, and say done. And now when I publish this, it's going to go to this page here, culture. All right, and so I would rename these whatever I need them to be. So one's going to be nature and parks, and one's going to be food, whatever. Okay, and so you'll do that for all of these. And then the last thing you also need to do is just to make it make sense. I'm not sure if you have noticed this, but if I publish this and then go to the site and then I click on any of these, if I click on this guy here, architecture, notice it kept that name, the desert. This is actually called the slug, and it's just the kind of the name that this page is given. We're going to just edit those as well, and I'll show you how to do that. It's really easy. For each of the pages, now these ones are all going to be correct. Portfolio didn't change. Submission will fix and body of work will fix. But here under architecture, we're going to click on these dots here and go over to SEO basics. Okay, and we're just going to change here where it says the desert. This is supposed to be architecture, so I'm just going to write architecture. I think it has to be lowercase. Architecture. Okay, enter. And I can do that for each of these. So park, nature, and parks. I'm going to go SEO basics. Okay, and I'm going to call that nature dash and dash parks. You can't put a space in these. Food. This is going to be street life. We're going to give it the SEO basics. Okay, and culture. All right, you get the idea. Okay, and so now when I publish and I view my site, when I go to each of these categories, I go to portfolio and I go to architecture, this now says architecture instead of whatever it was, the beach or something, nature and parks. Okay, so that will make it easier to navigate as well. And then the rest is just a matter of organizing your content, putting your images in Flickr and then loading them up to this. The written piece is going to be another page, just like your bio page. Okay, so you're going to have a written piece where you talk about the questions that are posed here in the written section down here. Okay, that's going to go in as another page. So again, you're just going to add a page. Go to pages, and you can go add a page, and you can put that in maybe between body of work and bio, however you want. Okay, and that's kind of the meat of it. Hopefully that makes sense. You can probably get started on that, at least setting it up pretty much right away. All right, best of luck with it.